In the last part of this tutorial, I'll be showing you how you can create compositions that are visually intriguing by adding additional expressions as well as effects. So let's go ahead and actually let me collapse this panel. So basically I have one layer with the Vegas effect. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually make it a little smaller, and I'm going to duplicate this again and make that a little smaller, and I'll duplicate it again. Maybe I'll just do the bigger one outside, and then make that bigger. Actually, maybe duplicate this one and this one, this one. Okay, I'm gonna make that bigger, and then this one. We can make that also bigger. And what we want to do, basically, we want to, oops, we're gonna make sure that the mode is all set to screen, so it's cutting through the black. So I'll change all the mode to screen. Okay, very good. Now we can see everything else. And if I highlight all of the settings, I can actually make sure that this is aligned to the center. So it's all perfect. And now you can kind of see that I basically, with just simple duplications, I can create something that's visually dynamic and interesting. What we can do now also, we can customize each one of these circles. So if I go to my main circle and the effects, I can double click Vegas to get the settings. So I'm gonna, maybe I can add segments if I wanted to. I can change the length. I can also make it thicker. So actually gonna make the segments back to 3. So there's things that you could do to just customize each one of these circles further. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually duplicate this one. Okay, so I think this one, let's make sure it's all circle. Okay, just hold the shift key and you can kind of see it now. Okay, pretty good. Okay, so now so let's add a couple of settings to this option. So what I'm gonna do, maybe the middle circle, I'm gonna add an additional expression to vary the intensity of the light. So, or we can just, vary the opacity. Well, let's actually just vary the width first. So, in order to do that, we're gonna make sure to hold the Option key and click on width. And again, this message pops up. And what you want to put in there is basically this wiggle and 5 times 50. So basically saying change the value of this middle circle randomly and wiggle it around. So you can kind of see, I mean, if I want less effect, I can reduce that number, the 50, I can reduce it to like 10. But right now I'm just going to leave this. And I can also add another value. So for example, for the glow, maybe we'll do the outer one. So let's go ahead and add the same thing to the outer glow. So we're going to choose, make sure this is there. Okay, let's just do this one. And we're going to open the effects. Under effects, I'm going to double click glow, load it to the page. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same exact thing with the intensity. You can hold the option key, click on the logo intensity and paste the code and press outside of the actual panel to accept the wiggle. If you if you add too many, you can click inside and delete. You can also just disable the effect. So now you could see as it's playing back, the outer rim basically gets thicker and brighter randomly. So these are some of the ways that you can create really interesting animations for your project. I'm going to go ahead and, actually I think this is Vegas. I'm going to go ahead and click my final render and collapse this and see what I have here. Make sure this. Okay. Okay. So so if I play this, you can kind of see that it's all sort of coming into this. You know, everything is translated, and you can see that these are comps based on the tan color. So I basically just have the audio layer and the Vegas layer. And what I'm going to do now, I'm simply going to just choose a new solid, a new actually adjustment layer. And I'm going to add like a toner. I'm going to go ahead and add CC toner. And now you can kind of see that everything basically becomes a little bit more of a monotone. And you can just sort of play around to get, you know, kind of a feel for how you want this thing to shape and animate. And you could see that, I mean, I could have text popping up. And what I could also do, once I add everything that I need to this layer, and if I'm happy with the result, I can do a final composition for this. So even though this could be named comp basically we can do render comp 1, and then I could simply drag this over this icon so that I just get to deal with one layer and basically export this out as a QuickTime movie.